Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Classic Comics. So, last week I did a video about comic book pros complaining that they weren't getting paid. I'll put a link to that video up here in the corner if you want to give that one a look. Now, in that video, I talked about how comic book journalists, quote unquote, were finally admitting that the industry was having problems and companies couldn't afford to pay their employees. Well, now the other shoe has finally dropped and Aftershock Comics has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, it seems odd that a comic book company would file for bankruptcy when the industry is doing so well and comic book sales are great. It makes you wonder if maybe the comic book industry isn't doing as well as the comic book media claims. Let's take a look at this. Aftershock Comics files for bankruptcy, owes creators five-figure sums. And this is from Bleeding Cool, by the way. In recent days, Bleeding Cool has run a number of stories concerning the comic book publisher Aftershock Comics and what has seemed an inability to pay their freelance comic book creators what is due them. seemed an inability. Today it has been revealed that Aftershock Comics of Sherman Oaks, California, and their partner studio Rive Gauche Television, I guess that's how you say that, has filed for bankruptcy. The Aftershock Comics LLC filing states on December 19th, 2020, Aftershock Comics LLC and affiliates filed for Chapter 11 protection in the District of Central California. The debtor reports assets of 10 to 50 million and liabilities of 10 to 50 million. The petition states funds will be available to unsecured creditors, etc., etc., etc. Debts declared include towards these comic book creators: Mattia Monaco, artist for Knock 'em Dead and Chicken Devil from Aftershock for $18,000. Emilio Piliu, artist on Bram Stoker Monster Hunter from Aftershock for $15,500. Alberto Locatelli, writer on Where Starships Go to Die for $15,000. Anaki Miranda of We Live for Aftershock, as well as 2000 AD, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Ragman, and Ferris for $10,010. Damian Cusiro, artist on Beyond the Breach for Aftershock, as well as Sons of Anarchy, Planet of the Apes, Irredeemable, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for $8,800. Mark Englert, artist for $8,600. Then there are the comic book related debtors, including San Diego Comic Con for $17,000. AS Comics of Pusey, England for $504,326. One of the directors of which is Lee Kramer, president and partner of Aftershock Comics. Imprimiere Impriente of Canada for printing services worth $398,887. Imprimiere Solisco of Canada for printing services of $29,263. And then in the Rive Gauche television filing, there are television studios and networks where the numbers start to ramp up. Jupiter Entertainment for $1,474,010, TBS CNN for $756,443, AMC Networks for $375,980, M2 Pictures for $227,830, Trivision International of Los Angeles for $118,399, film producer David Sigurani of Sauce Inc. for $78,000 of contractor services. Other names without figures listed include, and I'm not going to say all these names, but I mean, there's like a couple of hundred names here. I mean, there's quite a few. Declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy is often not the end but a new beginning. It enables companies to take a break from their debts while they attempt to reorganize so that they can pay off their debts. We hope that for Aftershock and their creators, this is one of those occasions, and the temporary nature is how this is being spun. Yeah, we'll see about that. With the way the economy's going, I don't think this is going to be a temporary thing. And then Popverse also has another article on this. Aftershock Comics files for bankruptcy with 10 million plus owed. Aftershock's filings estimates that it owes money to somewhere in the region of 200 to 999 creditors, with liabilities in the region of 10 million to 50 million. I mean, how does a comic company even have 50 million in debt? How does that even happen? Amongst those creditors are printers, distributors, and creators, with many listed in the filing itself. Aftershock's bankruptcy has been in the works for months. The final 2 pages of today's filing contain a certificate of Aftershock Comics authorizing the Chapter 11 filing. Of particular interest is the date of the document, given as September 12th. That's more than 2 weeks before co-founder of the company and named creditor in the filing, Mike Martz, left the company in what he described at the time as an extremely bittersweet move. He was replaced in early October by Brian Cunningham. IDW veteran Chris Ryall was announced as joining the company in November as a publishing consultant, but Popverse has confirmed he ultimately decided against working with Aftershock. Yeah, he didn't want any part of this mess. He saw what was coming. The intent of this decisive action, among other considerations, is to allow the company to maintain operations in the ordinary course, including but not limited to paying employees and continuing existing benefits programs, upholding and following through on commitments to contracted creators, as well as vendors who supply goods and services related to marketing, merchandising, and advertising. Aftershock will continue to operate and publish and market comic books and graphic novels to supply direct market retailers and mass accounts through its distributors in accordance with all federal, state, and local guidelines. We regret the inconvenience this has caused to those we work with and may cause in the near future. However, we believe that going forward, this will allow us to best position the company for long-term success. Someone familiar with the company has told Popverse that Aftershock CEO John Kramer has informed employees that the company will be in a better place in a month, and the company isn't in any danger of closing. According to our source, Aftershock CEO attributes the bankruptcy filing to a preemptive move to block a creditor who was going to attempt to take over the company. Popverse has been unable to confirm this version of events or the creditor in question. So, I think a big part of this is that these companies have been kept afloat by outside money for some time now. These companies just became IP farms, hoping to create IPs that they could then sell to streaming services that were hungry for content. That brought in outside investors putting money into these companies for years, mainly from China. But Hollywood has pissed China off too many times, despite doing everything they could to kiss China's ass. And as a result, the foreign capital has begun to dry up, and the pandemic made that even worse. But just as that money was going away, the government offered these PPP loans that allowed these companies to stay afloat for another year or two, and now that money's gone. And this is the result. These companies are finally reaching the point where they can't deny reality or dodge the consequences of their decisions. It remains to be seen if other comic book companies will go bankrupt as well. I don't think Marvel or DC is going to do that. They're not going to go broke. And probably not Image, but Valiant, IDW, Lion Forge, I could see those companies going bankrupt easily. Which is going to be the next one? I wonder, which is going to be the next domino to fall? And what do you think? Which comic book company will go bankrupt next? Let me know in the comments, and please like this video and sub to the channel and hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.